Singapore aims to raise its manufacturing value by 50% in 2030, but rising costs and global competition are testing the sector's resilience. To discuss more about this, we have Lennon Tan, President of Singapore Manufacturing Federation. So Lennon, what pressures are most urgent for Singapore manufacturing today? Let's start with this.
Singapore manufacturing's situation is that we are facing a little bit of headwind in terms of the cost concern, as well as the disruption of our supply chain in ever since the Liberation Day. So I think manufacturers in Singapore and our close by supply chain are disrupting some of the progress. As you know, Singapore has limited spaces, and most of our manufacturers here do have production sites connecting to their supply chain in neighboring countries, and some even as far as India and China. So the current situation is disrupting their plans in the way that it is no longer the cheapest way of doing things, but the most tax efficient ways of doing things. So this is some of the challenges faced by our manufacturers here.
So despite these challenges, how realistic would you say is the 50% value boost target by 2030?
Let me first clarify the 50% increase in output that you mentioned. It was a vision set up by our Ministry of Trade and Industry in 2020, whereby we want to use this 10-year window, which is 2020 to 2030, to increase the production output by 50%. This year, obviously, is the midway point of that target. And according to statistics, we are right there. We are on track to hitting that 50% value-added output.
But is there also anything else we can do? What other strategies will help reach this target?
Well, I think currently our businesses are resilient. I think they are relooking at their supply chain and rerouting some of where they do their value add, as well as where they market their products. As far as the Singapore manufacturers is concerned, one other angle that they can perhaps use as a springboard is to work with a lot of FDIs that has been in Singapore. These are the multinationals companies that have set up production in Singapore. And we are as in Singapore Manufacturing Federation, we are setting up this platform whereby our local supply chains can work with these multinationals and really plugged into their global supply chain by way of innovation, by way of really targeting their needs instead of importing all their parts and products from their current supply chain. We are encouraging them to source more locally. So in this sense, our output can contribute towards that goal.
Thank you so much for your time today, Lennon.
Thank you.
Once again, that was Lennon Tan, President of Singapore Manufacturing Federation. For more news, visit sbr.com.sg.